have Coy, we have Eris. I'm excited about this interview. And ladies, would you like to say anything to begin?
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay. It came to my mind when I was thinking about you guys today that you're both in school, educated, saved, and single. And
Mhm.
so I want to know what keeps you motivated concerning school. What keeps you motivated?
I mean, for me, I mean, I could say the time and money invested. That's for one. I mean, this is money I got to pay back.
Okay,
The time I'm invested in it, and just, I mean, overall wanting better for myself.
okay, okay. Eris,
For me, I would say just the goals that I've been wanting to accomplish my whole life, as far as just provide a more quality life for me and also for my family. I think I shared with you before that I'm the first in my family to go to college and graduate, and now I'm getting my master's. So this is like I'm leading, they looking up to me. So for me, it's more of like I have to finish this because I have my little cousins, they always know, oh, Eric's in school, they want to be like me. So for me, it's just more of a family thing and being able to provide for my family and give them different options that they never had. So that's my.
okay, okay. More amped up. As single women, does the church in some way not fairly treat single women? And this is your opinion, this is your perspective, because oftentimes when I run into different friends who are single and at church, it seems the only time that the church calls on them is when they need a babysitter, they need a nursery teacher, or they want to go on a field trip. So let me have some feedback about that.
Um, I don't. mm, I'm gonna say no, but
Okay,
based on, because I mean, I don't have that experience at all. So
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. Eris,
Yeah, I'm with Coy on that. I never had that experience. I even much saw that. So I don't know.
okay, okay. Anything on either of your minds that you want to discuss, because we have great discussions off the interview. So this is just open ended.
I don't know.
You like
I don't
them?
even know what door to open up.
Okay. You're waiting on your man. You're waiting on the man that you're praying for, right?
Yeah.
So how do you wait so well?
I mean, you just know when you know what you want, you just don't want to settle. So, even with, my last relationship, the love is still there. But it's because when you know what you want, you just, and it's something that I encourage every woman, Eris, even you, and you're younger than I am. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot that I feel as women, because we naturally love, like we have a naturally forgive. When we're in a relationship, we can easily overlook the flaws and faults of our significant others because we've learned to love them despite their flaws. So even the signs are disrespectful towards us, and I'm not talking about abuse and things like that, but I just mean like certain things, like the lack of emotional support when it comes to women and the things that we need from our mates. Those things are important in relationships, and I don't feel like we as women, there's so many beautiful single, educated women that are single, and just to say, for the sake of having a man, I don't feel like we should have to settle just because, okay, well, there's nobody else out there. There's somebody out there. It might take a while, it may continue to take a while, but I mean, I don't know, I just feel like I know what I want, and I know what I deserve.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Since you are a believer in Christ, do you find yourself having to pray concerning that?
I do. Oh yeah, I do. And especially the older I get, I'm 41 now and never been married, never had kids, and still have a desire for both. And I'm like, oh Lord, I mean, I have issues with my female reproductive organs, and so I'm just like, at 41, I don't have time to play.
Okay.
And the desire to have somebody who's sensitive and mature enough to understand that at my age. It's not like I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my early 30s. So I don't have that extra time, that extra fluff time to play. I don't.
Okay. Okay.
For me to chime off of Koi, I'm 25, so my perspective is kind of different. Like I have time, and so for me, it's just more about praying. Just praying for that right one, and as dating, you get to know like what you like and what you don't like. For me, and so even though like I kind of want to start settling down now, so I can be able to have a child, build my house and all that, and just spend life with the person that's for me. But just waiting is good because there's always someone for everyone, you know. And it's just more about just waiting, know your worth. Like we discussed yesterday, Jakes, know your self-worth, know what you're worth. And just wait on that person. And if you know that the person that you with right now is not what you desire, or someone that you is like, nah, this not gonna work, move on. I know for me it's hard sometimes to move on, but at the same time I have to tell myself, hey, like I'm still young, there's still a lot of men out there, just let's just see how it's gonna work. But for me, it's just more of just getting myself together right now so I can be right for when my man do come.
Okay. Okay. So, like those answers, But can we agree that there's a lot of women settling? Can we agree with that?
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
there's a lot of women that they're not only having a hard time pulling away, they've stopped trying to get away, even though they know this is not going anywhere. And so, with that, if they were watching, could you give a woman who, I'm in a relationship, I know that it's not going anywhere, I love him to death, but this is not working for me? Can you just give her one piece of advice just for her? Not this is what you need to do, but how could you tell her to still be able to live her life while she's going through that tug of war? I mean, because the reason that I'm asking, you know what's right. Both of you know what's right, but you also know it's difficult. And so we put that word difficult out there and no one discusses it further. And so you have a lot of people dealing with difficult circumstances, but I don't have any input because I can't talk to him about it because it's because of him. I can't talk to my friends about it because all they want to do is give me advice. I'm not looking to give people advice. I'm looking this is what works for me. This is how I still have life outside of a man. Yeah, it's good to have a man in your life, but outside of that, how are you dealing just with you in the wait?
For me, it's just I don't know, like when you've experienced certain relationships and things with different men,
Okay.
you learn a lot. You learn a lot. Like your experiences, it grooms you. And when you're exposed to certain things, you know what you like, what you don't like. And I think even in my desire to have a husband, not just to be in a relationship, to have a husband, a loving husband, a healthy relationship. Um, the difficulty in knowing, like, man, the great men that are out there, they're there, but they're very far and few. I mean, they really are. Um, but I think for me, it's just having that mindset. Like it's just, and a lot of it, I think it's a black thing for me too. The way that I was raised,
Okay.
um, I think we tend to. It's just we're a lot more independent, and so like while I want to be able to, for me, I want to be able to share. I want to be able to share all of who I am with that special person and get the same thing back. And when you know that that's not there, then you have no other choice. So it's no need to. I have my moments where I'm sad, I'm tearful, But at the end of the day, like, you have to focus. It's not the end of the world. You have to focus.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would say to that female, my friend always tell me something that is forced will never work out in the end. So
This
if
is
you
true.
forcing it at the end, you probably will leave. Also, you can always love someone and not be with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of women, probably don't understand that concept. As far as you can still love that man, you can still care about that man. That's okay, but you don't necessarily have to be with that man. And of course, if that man, has put you through so much, but he's not elevating you, he's not supporting you, he's not tending to your emotional side, and he's just not loving on you, it's just, I just feel like it's not worth it, because you will be drained. At the end of the relationship, you're going to be drained. You're going to be so drained that you're going to fall into a depressive state, and you won't know. A lot of people are depressed and they don't know. The Black community lacks, I say, facts or information about mental health. And a lot of females, they fall into that my comfort zone. This is who I'm comfortable with. And sometimes that person that you're comfortable with is not for you. So it's okay to get out your comfort zone, and it's okay to move on, but it's also okay to still love and care about that person from afar. And also just focus on you. What do you desire? What can you do to help yourself? Once you start focusing on you, you will see the bigger picture. So
Okay.
I would tell that woman that.
Okay. Okay. Can you both agree that you have made a mistake or two concerning men?
Absolutely. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, most
absolutely.
definitely. A lot of
Absolutely.
mistakes.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, I take full accountability for my part in
Okay.
any relationship that's ever failed.
Okay. We're going somewhere.
Okay.
So if you could look back, and I want you to think of an incident, I want you to think of an individual, and if you could look back and tell yourself something that would help you not make that mistake. This is you looking back and being able to go back in time and tell you know how you think, you know what you would have listened to, you know what you wouldn't try to hear. What would you have told the you to help you not make that mistake?
I would tell myself to slow down. For me, and when I mean by slowing down,
Hold talk to her. Talk you speaking to the heirs right now. Speak to her. Act like
yeah,
you're speaking to her. Come on.
I would tell myself to slow down and think. Because a lot of times when I'm in a relationship, I'm a caring person. And so I give all of me to that relationship early on in the relationship. And sometimes for me, I have to slow down, be patient, because if you give your all, that's how I get hurt a lot. Because I'm giving my all, I'm loving, and I'm doing everything in my power to make sure everything goes right in a relationship. But at the same time, I need to slow down. I don't, because, and let me give you an example. In my previous relationship, there was a time where I was cooking, washing clothes, and everything for my boyfriend. Just my boy, like I was doing wife duties. And just because I just cared and loved him so much, and at that point I should have just told myself to just be patient, slow down, like don't give him all at once, um so that's why I would have told myself to just
Okay.
slow down ears.
Thank you.
Um, I mean, I guess I kind of would say the same thing, but I guess starting that's kind of difficult to say. I do agree with Eris in saying that you should not give your all in a relationship. I think we as women, because we are natural nurturers, we have a tendency, and I know I do. Like I'm gonna fix your food. I'm gonna make sure you're good. And it's kind of, sometimes it even comes across as motherly. Um, and when you kind of show that, it's just men and women, we're different. So like for men, that's something that's like, whoa, like, this might be something I want. And the man don't really know you. He ain't even really taking the time out to know who you are, what you can handle, who you are, what substance you have outside of you being able to cater to him. And sometimes it just kind of, um, but sometimes sometimes I feel like when you give all of that, like just performing those wifely duties, it just kind of sets the tone. um I guess I want to say it's just a false narrative, because it's just kind of like it's a facade, because you don't really know your partner.
Okay.
Just because women generally, like, if I want to meet a guy, first of all, for me, I don't know how Eris is, but for me, don't nobody know where I live. If I'm dating you, it's gonna take a hot little minute. I'm talking about 8-9 months before you know where I live.
Hmm.
Period. And that's just how I operate, and that came with age, and then also a lot of what I was doing. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, I'm with Eris in terms of, don't give all of you in a relationship to a boyfriend.
Okay. Okay. Don't give all to the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm understanding, because when the marriage comes, that's when
Oh yeah,
everything,
strictly to the
Yeah.
boyfriend.
it takes
To
a
the
run.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I felt like I pressed a little. Is there anything you'd like to ask me, or anything that you want to discuss, or anything? Because I felt like that answer, that was a little weighty. I feel a little weight in the air. So I'm gonna put the weight on me and say, okay,
It's there's so much to talk about, because the thing is, I can ask you questions all day,
okay,
Sean, and I think, like, what it boils down for me is, every one of you, in terms of men, you guys are different. The way you process things are very different. Your listening skills are different. Like, your listening skills. Like, I mean, you have listening skills that every woman desires.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
you care, you ask questions, and it's even those small little things that can come across to anybody else. It's like, that ain't nothing. But when you don't get it with somebody that you care about, and you desire, and you're getting it from somewhere else, it's like, well, dang, how come my dude can't be like this? Like, this is what this it's this
Exactly.
simple.
okay. Can I allow me to say
Yeah.
that? I've heard, and if I'm wrong when I've heard this, then let me know. A lot of things that women expect from us, you're not taking to account how we were supposed to know. Meaning, I'll give you an example. I was raised by my mother, and so I was raised by a single mother. So some things that a man brings to the table, such as physical things, like, say, I can work on the car, I can, do these other things. Okay, I cannot fix a car. So I'm not mechanically inclined, but
Hmm.
because I love my mother, because I would see my mother go through difficulties where she just needed someone to listen to, those skills were matured and actualized in my own life. But a lot of times, I'm just saying, from a male perspective, my personal belief is sometimes you should do a little bit more investigating about your man. And rather than focus on what he's not doing, see, can you help him learn how to do it? Because I think one of the greatest experiences in a relationship is you teaching me things and me teaching you things. And so,
I
since we
agree.
come from different backgrounds, but what happens is, just like you say, we put our best foot forward. We're showing one another our best. It's like, I remember
Hmm.
one time, I was out, and I'm not a nature buff. I don't like bugs. I like dogs. Well, there was a little rodent, you know, ran across the way. So I look, I'm back here. So I can tell, she expects me to, handle that. So I don't mess with mice. I don't mess with rats. That's not what I do. I don't know what part of it, but I'm saying that in that incident, her expectation was, okay, you're a man, you're supposed to handle it.
Mhm.
I don't do that. I wasn't raised like that. I don't like mice and all that little stuff and snakes and all that stuff. So I'm saying that rather than her maybe looking at me, okay, you have an expectation, but when you see I'm not meeting it, go into teaching mode. As you said, you guys are nurturers. And I'm telling you, just different discussions that I have with friends, with men throughout life, we love women that are able to impart something to us that we don't know. But at the same time, we want to share some things, with you guys. Let's say, you guys are highly educated. Let's just say, for instance, you have a better paying job than your man. You have more education than your man. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but share a little bit. Tell your man, say you might want to work on your academic skills. You might want to look at going to school. But what we generally do, and maybe not you, but what we generally do, and when I say we, male and female, we just hear what we want to hear and like what we want to like. And when we don't get what we want, that's when it becomes a problem. I'm saying teaching one another is a good thing. What do you think about that?